Hi, and welcome to another Chubs Gone Wild, episode 453. Ooh, recorded on July 18th, 2022, where it is currently 100 degrees and sunny outside the Chubs Gone Wild remote studios. Actually, I thought it was supposed to get up to 102. None of these weather services agree.
Yeah, well, on one of my brew today, it was 103 today, but then my weather app has it as just 100.
Yeah. In Britain, some of our friends in Britain and Scotland, they're getting pummeled with like the 105 and
Yeah, well, so is the Europe.
uh, and poor Texas. Texas hasn't had a break from well over 100 for a while, and they have to be really careful because of their freedom grid. Yeah, because it can go down in a little heartbeat there. But yeah, so certainly love out to all of our listeners who are getting pummeled by the heat.
Well, it's pretty much everywhere, but it's not that climate change thing. It's called summer.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're having this huge heat wave, and then the climate people who do their big meeting and they're like, we're going to do all this stuff to have a climate summit and everything. And then they're all like, well, we did it, but we're not going to do much of anything. Yeah. Fuck you. It is 104 days till Halloween, 159 days until Christmas, and it is 105, just 105 days until TJ Zombie Girl retires. What a party that's going to be. Amazing. All right, Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Sausage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Brother Sinatus, Phoenix Dave, Kingsley, and Moose P. Please visit patreon.com/MattBurlingame if you would like to find out how to become a sponsor, patron, a chub chaser. I don't know. Patreon is encouraging us to give our supporters like a special name, how, like, I don't know, Doctor Who's have Whovians, or the dead have deadheads.
The Fanilos.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know, maybe our listeners will have to chime in and tell us what they would like to be called, our supporters. All right, anyway, but for as little as $1 a day, you can become a patron of the show. Today, July 18th, 1940, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who first took office in 1933 as America's 32nd president, is nominated for an unprecedented third term. Roosevelt, a Democrat, would eventually be elected to a record 4 terms in office, and the only U.S. president to ever serve more than 2 terms. Because at that point they said, okay, presidents can't do that anymore. So, womp womp. Anyway, well, let's see what else is special about this day, and if we have done it and honored it and loved it. It's Global Hug Your Kids Day. Fuck no. Oh, Insurance Nerd Day. Nessa, we love you. Also, National Caviar Day. Michael Sage, we love you. No, I was trying to think who among our listeners would be a caviar person.
Oh, Alton Brown. It's his favorite food.
Oh, well, very cool. I didn't know he listened.
Yeah.
Nice. Also, let's see, National Get Out of the Doghouse Day. What put you in there, girl? You got one of those little rubber tails wagging. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. National Sour Candy Day. Oof. I have a love-hate relationship with sour candy, but I love it, but I hate it. But I love it.
You kind of sweet and sour on it?
Yeah, you know, when you got that sweet on the outside and you're like, oh, this is nice. All of a sudden your mouth just like puckers up. Yummy. Especially lemon. I like the lemon. Excuse me. It's also National Nelson Mandela International Day. It's a good day. Perfect Family and World Listening Day. Are you listening to the world?
No, but I've got the perfect family.
We are the world. Yeah, most of them are perfect. Same with me. Most of mine are now perfect. My dad's perfect. Anyway, alrighty, moving on. Today's affirmation. Today, I remember to put my hands over my heart and express love for my country. No, that's not right. For myself. I embrace my inner child and tickle him till he vomits. And then I laugh and I laugh and I laugh at his suffering.
See, when I embrace my inner child, it calls the authorities. So
Yeah. Hello, this is my inner child. I'm being so mean and abusive to myself. I wonder if it ever. No, that's horrible. They shouldn't get those calls. All right. Oh, you know what we didn't do last time? We didn't do birthdays last time. You skipped right over it.
Well, that would be you.
We just skipped right over it. So anybody who had birthdays last week, we celebrate you. Some of us we celebrate in a special way. Anyway, but today's birthdays, we celebrate Andres, Andrew, Bradley, Ken. All right. And it's Patron Charles. Happy birthday, Patron Charles. We celebrate you today. I have to remind me to give him a special message. Also, upcoming birthdays. Happy birthday to Matthew, Manuel, Wendy. Oh, Mary Locke, formerly of the, I wonder if it'll come to me. No. She had a podcast and I was on it several times. Wonderful podcast. I forget what it was though. She had a segment called Frodo's Corner that I did the intro for. I love that intro too. Anyway, also Todd, Dawn. Oh my goodness. One of my neighbors is having a birthday. Yay. Okay. Tiffany, Vanessa. Oh, local rock star Brian McMartin. Happy birthday to him. Also, Gerald, author Taylor Compton, Bear, Elisa, and Molly. Molly Breck. Yeah, so we send love out to Molly. And there we are. You know what? It's almost out. Oh my God, it's only a month away.
What?
Do we have to start? When do we start birthday month for Tom?
We don't.
1 month away. It's so I'm excited now. That's just awesome. Such a good time. All right. Well, those were wonderful, weren't they? Made me very happy to read those. And yeah, I'm one of our patrons. That's so cool. All right. Well, there's nothing in our feedback right now, but it's time for Chub Hugs. Do you have Chub Hugs that you want to send out?
Well, I want to start off by giving Chub Hugs out to my girls.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of parsley.
Yeah, not really. I miss them.
Yeah.
But I'll find a new love in them.
Now, do you take like pictures of them and print them out and then put them in little albums with their names and dates and their harvest dates and stuff on them?
No.
Oh, well, now you have a new idea you can start.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Anything else? Anyone else?
No.
Okay. Well, I want to send a couple chub hugs out. One, of course, to all of our listeners who are dealing with the heat wave, especially Tim and James and Nephi, Frederic, all of our Texas listeners who are just really having some issues, especially with grid systems and stuff down there. Also to the boys, Toppy and DJ over at Matinee Minutia. I was going to pinch hit this last week for their show if needed, but turned out I wasn't needed, so I bowed out so I could help a friend. And yeah. Anyway, happy Chub Hug Day. All right, queer headlines. Walgreens employee refuses to sell condoms to a married woman, citing "my faith." Fire him. Slovenia set to become the first former communist country with marriage equality. It's very cool. Conservative Christians call for a boycott of Thor for being too gay. It had some good gayness in it, but I wouldn't say it was too gay.
What was gay with the lesbian?
Well, she's Valkyrie is bisexual, and she was talking about girlfriends that she messed up their relationships with. And then the rock creature is, well, I mean,
are there
found a gay
females?
man, but they're only male.
Right.
Their species is only, like what's his name, Mortis on Neville. Well, that's a whole different story. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, it was what it was, and there was some gay overtones between like Thor and Star-Lord and things like that, but nothing. I didn't find it like in your face gay. So anyway, whatever. GOP congressman tries to win over the GLBTQ voters now that his district includes Palm Springs.
Oh, well, nice knowing you.
Yeah, good luck with that. Or, well, bad luck with that. Bye-bye. Raven Simone's sitcom debuts Disney Channel's first ever transgender character that they know about. Nintendo announces it will recognize same-sex partnerships, even though Japan doesn't. And finally, Charles Barkley says, "If you're gay or transgender, I love you." A video of the NBA legend calling out homophobes and transphobes has gone viral. So that was very nice, especially after Marjorie Taylor did her thing about saying that fake moms and dads are unacceptable and harm children. So there you go, orphans. No adopted parents for you because Marjorie Taylor thinks that they'll damage you. Anyway. All right. Well, now Tom wants to talk to you about.
Well, we had a big week on RuPaul this week. It was their All-Stars, and it was their roast. So that is where you have the eight queens, and they all roast each other, obviously.
Nice.
But the weird thing was that only one of them actually roasted the judges as well. Because during a roast, you're supposed to roast everybody.
Right.
No one is safe. And so, especially since it really wasn't a roast for an individual person. So only Jinx Monsoon, did the total package and won this week, giving her four legendary legend stars. Yeah, I think it's either 3 or 4. And won the week, and so as well. So it was very exciting week, and actually most of the girls did really, really well with the roast. The only person, Jada, did have a problem just keeping up with what she had written down, and was fucking it up badly. But as soon as she started fucking it up, she kind of went off cards, and then she was hilarious. Because You know, a really good drag queen is one that can, you know, really play off the cuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like a really good, you know, hairdresser.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. But leave it to Jinx to have gotten it right and done.
oh yeah, she's just sensational. She really is. But I'll tell you, we were laughing so hard during the episode that it was it's it you. I want to go back again and watch it. Just 'cause I'm sure I missed a lot.
Mhm.
It was just really good stuff. Um, Trixie Motel finished this week,
Yes.
and it was, you know, is one of those episodes where they just kind of tied everything up. They finished the lobby area,
Yeah.
and then they had a party, you know, to open up the place. So it was, you know, a nice little package. Probably the weakest of the episodes, just because
Really?
it was, well, it was a tie-up episode.
Yeah.
You did get to see a lot of queens and famous people that came for the grand opening of the motel.
Right. It was
But
weird seeing so many of them out of makeup. I was
well,
like,
yeah, but the weird thing is they invited all those people that, you know, most of them were coming from either Vegas or from LA,
hmm,
and they invited them for a grand opening of a motel that they don't have enough rooms to accompany everybody.
right.
So it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, we're driving, you know, 5 hours out to, oh no, I guess it's 3 hours out to Palm Springs, and we have nowhere to stay. And it's an evening party. So we're going to have to go out and spend money on a hotel because they don't have enough rooms.
Right. Well, they'll probably get the rooms cheaper anyway, because those are some pricey rooms. Although I have to say I'm gonna miss the show.
Yeah.
It was once they got over the first couple weird rough episodes. I really enjoyed it, and now I'm gonna miss it. Like, what else are you gonna open? So yeah.
Or which queen is going to have the rest series?
Right. And the straight woman's husband, the one that got married on the
Yeah.
show, adorable. I know, but he's
You
adorable.
fags, you just look at
I
everybody
know.
as a sex toy.
I would look at him that way, but yeah. Although I did think it was kind of interesting that her husband has been all like playful and docile and everything, like through the whole, like I'm just gonna let her shine. And then in that last episode, he was all bitch boy. He's like, no,
Well,
fix it.
you got to remember he owns a business in Palm Springs.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
not saying it was a bad thing. It was just kind of like, oh well,
Right.
he stepped up.
Yeah.
I
So
love it.
final finale of Miss Marvel,
Yes.
which was very exciting.
Yeah.
Got a lot of answers done, and then did you watch it all the way through?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the way through, and we got some, you know, as with all Marvel things, got some surprises.
Yeah, and I like when they said will appear in, and it's like introducing. Well, I don't want to do any spoilers for anyone, but yeah, I was really happy with that.
And it's still, well, it is the best reviewed Marvel anything
Mhm.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's great. I think it absolutely deserves it. The one thing that threw me though was how half of it is kind of like this kid show, like, okay, we're gonna stave off the bad guys by, well, I don't want to do spoilers there, but more kiddie kind of stuff, more high school kid stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
Scooby
and
Doo.
then the guys that are after him they were
Okay.
gonna kill him.
Right. That was the thing that was kind of surprising, but they handled it well by, you know, hitting up social media and getting enough witnesses there to yeah.
Right.
So that was cool.
But even at the end, that boss lady, I mean, it was like the adults were ready to kill and were trying to, and
Yeah.
the kids are just all still doing kind of kid stuff. And it kind of threw me a little bit with the, like, how are you taking this show? But I don't care. It was good.
Yeah. Let's see. This week on Orville, they had they talked about the Kalon and how they came about, why they turned on the humans, and And I thought, and also Isaac had the opportunity to have his, because he's a machine, but had the opportunity to have his
Emotions.
be able to love and have emotions, and
Mhm.
how to be um, a more, well, closer to a real being. And but it was, it was a little bit sad, a little bit okay, it was,
Right.
but I thought the whole Caitlin, how those people were treating their robots was just terrible.
I agree. And at first I thought, oh, well, they're gonna kill the kids and the kids are being nice. Then they had that whole scene. I was like, oh, kill those little bastards.
Yeah,
But yeah, again, another really thought-provoking, thought-out show. It was
yeah.
great.
Well, and they're also, I mean, they've been really kind of, they're heavy subject matter, but they're done with not too heavy.
Right,
They're
exactly.
done where it's not painful. Um,
And that's what I'm liking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds too. It's the same thing. It's heavy subject matter, but it's light enough that I'm not, oh God. Sorry.
you disappeared.
Oh, hello. I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
I just
You said, "Oh God," and then all of a sudden there's just some fat guy.
oh well, that would be me.
No.
No, I kept interrupting you and I didn't want to throw you
Okay.
off.
Anyway, so yeah, Orville just keeps on getting better and better. So I'm really happy with that. But I did hear that they're probably not going to be renewed.
What?
Well, I think basically it was because it took so long to get the third season out,
Yeah.
and some of the actors have already moved on,
Oh.
and so we'll see. This week on Evil,
Mm.
it starts off where they are investigating a possession, that some girl is eating glass and she's talking in tongues, and so they go there and they find out that she is live streaming on an app, her possession. So they start looking into the app and find that there's a whole group of people that are all possessed. And the more they get into it, the more they find out that it's all pretty much all of it's staged, and it's all because people are looking to get likes and followers,
Mm.
uh, even if it means being possessed by a demon. So they're really, it's what's funny about this is it's a lot like X-Files in the fact that they go looking for um these different situations, and almost always find out that they're man-made, that they're thirst traps, are in one way or another. But at the same time, there's demons running around, and we know there's demons running around. But so the demon storyline is kind of like the big arc, and each week they kind of debunk another thing for the church. But as they do that, they find things that are real. So it's such a fun show. And like this week it was really great because they actually went to the app and said, the app people, and go, yeah, can we see the records of this one particular person? And it was, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it was a character that was making it all happen and doing some horrific things to their children to get more likes and looks. So
Wow.
it was a another good episode.
Mm.
Uh, let's see, Murders in the Building. We came, Steve Martin's daughter shows up. I guess it's stepdaughter. She shows up, and she just wants to get away from her mother. And while she's there, she lets Steve Martin and the gang know that there are secret passageways all through their building that she found when she lived there years ago. And so they find out that basically every single room, every single apartment has a passageway behind it, and people can actually watch what's going on in your apartment. So it's kind of shady. But there's this one scene where Martin Short finds a knife with blood on it,
Mm.
and he pulls it away, and it goes up and hits into the ceiling. So there's like this bloody knife on the ceiling, right? So they're trying to, and then somebody knocks on the door, and they're trying to keep them out of the kitchen so they don't see the knife, and then they get all distracted, and then a little bit later, all of a sudden the knife falls, and it's like it was such a good gag because it got a really big, you got a really big laugh, because by that time we had already forgotten that there was a knife up in the ceiling. So when it fell, it was kind of hilarious. But speaking of Only Murders, it did pick up a bunch of Emmy nominations this last week, which was really nice. As well as RuPaul did pick up another 11 nominations. But, Orville and Evil, they didn't pick up anything. Reservation Dogs didn't pick up anything. There was just surprising the stuff that didn't get any love from the Emmy people. So
Yeah.
I'm always surprised. Big Brother this week, we had one of the girls, her name was Paloma. She had a mental breakdown and had to leave the show. And so basically she was one of these girls that tried to stir shit up. But while she's stirring shit up, she's getting so paranoid that people are going to retaliate against her that it pretty much drove her out of the house. So, but think about it. I mean, here you are, you're playing in this kind of situation. If you play too hard, or you play to the point of where you think that people are going to come after you, and you're the only ones in the house that you're like a prime target. These people are just can fuck themselves up pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
that was kind of exciting. Let's see. I started watching The Bachelorette last week. I usually just watch the first episode because it's always such a train wreck. There's always somebody that's drinking too much, and or somebody picks a fight, because this is where they have all the guys, and so and you get to see a lot of hot guys, and they finally for a while it was all these goofus white guys, and now they throw in a bunch of pretty black men too, so that's really nice. And let's see, what happened was they have 2 bachelorettes this time.
Oh.
So they had a lot of guys, and the first night after they do the big meeting, they go in and they kind of, all the girls talk to the guys, but by the end of the evening, which by the way, the sun was coming up. That shows you, because I'm like going, oh my God, it's getting light, which means that it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and they're all still in ball gowns and all dressed up. So they go, we haven't met half the guys, and the guy who's doing the show, the host, he goes, well, you can do whatever you want. And they go, well, there's some that we could probably lose now. So they lost the twins. Now, who would throw twins out? They must have been horrible. Just horrible. And then they got rid of the magician, which if he would have stepped out of the car and goes, pick a card, I would go, no, get back into the car.
Yeah.
You are not staying. I don't care how cute you are, you're not staying.
Hmm.
So that was fun. Let's see. We've been watching Glee for the past couple weeks, just because there's not a whole lot available, and we haven't seen the whole series since it really came out. I mean, every once in a while I'd always start watching episode 1 again, and then maybe get through episode 2, and then by that time I was on to something else. But we're really focused on watching or getting through these in a good way. I don't want to make it sound like it's
Right.
it's some kind of chore, because they're always really fun. I just love the musical numbers.
Yeah.
So and Leah Michelle, who played Rachel, always wanted to be Rachel's character. Always wanted to do funny girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so This week they announced that Leah Michele is going to be taking over the role as Fanny Bryce on Funny Girl on Broadway. So, of course, ticket sales have gone way up for September when she starts, and probably will continue, because one thing they found out on Broadway, which is kind of sad, is that people will go and see the TV stars.
Yeah.
If they hear TV stars that they know, then, oh, let's go see that show. Instead of like, oh, Sutton Foster's starring in it. I don't know who that is, but I hear Rachel from Glee is on Funny Girl now. So it's kind of weird the way it works, but still fun. And remember we were talking about Leah Michele last week and how she had people complaining about her.
Yes.
I looked into it, and one of the main people that did it is actually on All Rise now, and she was only on 6 or 12 episodes, and she was one of the back one of the girls. And she said that at one point Rachel and her didn't get along, or not Rachel, Leah and her didn't get along, and Leah threatened to shit in her wig.
Yeah, I saw something about that.
You know what? You know what? You don't get along with everybody, and I'm sorry, but sometimes if you're really talented, you can always some of those people can be really dicks sometimes. But I don't think that means that you cancel them out because of that. You talk about them, and you've done that, and people can make their own decisions, but I don't want to rob people of careers just because they were an asshole a couple times.
Right, like Chris Pratt. I knew you'd be triggered.
Not a couple times with that bastard.
Well, anyway,
and also Rachel never talked about her child being,
Oh, you know what? In the Men's Health magazine article that I read, he talks about that. And he talks about how it really affected him and made him upset because the way that it was being spun by media, he knew that his son was going to see that, and that was going to be there for the rest of his son's life and could really affect him. And he was really upset about it.
Well, then he shouldn't. The tweet read just the way it sounded.
Well, some tweets can be taken the way some.
I want to thank my new wife for giving me a child that is healthy. That's what it said. Now, how are you going to? Yeah, thank you for my new wife for giving me a healthy child. How are you going to spin that any other way?
Very easily. It's all going to be in the context to the reader. That is very innocuously written.
Okay.
Now, I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that I doubt he's going to go out of his way to say to shit on his son. Okay. Anyway, but so I'm sorry. Do you have more?
Oh yeah, I've got more. If you weren't interrupting me.
Okay, and then
that Chris Pratt bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
So, also new on Hulu is a show called The Bear, and it's about a chef whose brother dies, so he moves back to Chicago because his brother has left him his restaurant, and his restaurant is basically slinging sandwiches in Chicago. So it's like meat sandwiches, come and get roast beef, go just sandwich shop. And everyone's treating him like he's a nobody, but we come to find out that he got his experience, early days experience working at like places like the French Laundry that we have over here in in Napa, where people are paying, what is it, $350 a plate to eat there, so it's fine dining at its best. Probably, well, actually, the French Laundry has been called one of the best restaurants in the United States, right, and at times the best restaurant. So he's gotten his training at places like this, and now he's coming back and he's trying to get basically a sandwich shop to be better, and it's a mess. And the people it's not that they don't want to work with him, they just fuck with him because, he's asking them to do things, when like a new boss goes into any place and goes, well, I want to make some changes. And
Right.
everyone's like, oh no, this could be terrible. So, but we were sucked in so bad on the show after the first episode. It was ridiculous. So,
That's good.
really worth watching. It's on Hulu, The Bear. Also, let's see. Oh, they're Michael Simon, Chef Michael Simon, is doing a new show. What's it called? It's I want to say like Best Barbecue, but what he's doing is he's going around to barbecue competitions. Because now I'm not sure. Have you ever watched like Grill Masters and stuff like that?
I'm not sure I've watched that one, but I've watched a number of barbecue type stuff.
Okay, well, you know that they have huge competitions all across the country.
Oh yeah.
Barbecue competitions that you go in on Friday, and Saturday you do your prep, and then Sunday you have the competition basically. So they're like 2 or 3 day events, and this is all across the country. Been watching these things for years. Well, Michael Simon's going around to the different places. He's interviewing these grill masters as they're in the midst of the competition, and then at the end they kind of give out awards to who wins, who had the best, chicken and brisket and ribs. And Michael Simon, their show, they highlighted 5 out of the 72 people or 72 teams that were there, and it was like, you're thinking, oh, these guys must be like the top 5, and that's why they chose them. Well, some of the people didn't even place in the top 10. So it was really interesting. It looks like it would be a blast for people who like to camp. And I'll tell you why. They go there with their RVs, and behind their RVs they have their barbecue grills that they're mobile and they take around with them. So they get there, they set up their grills, their smokers. They have they usually have a secondary building that they do all their cooking in, their extra cooking, chopping, everything they need to do, they do inside these little tiny on wheel buildings that they drag behind these RVs. So it's kind of like camping for people who like to barbecue. So like in the morning, they have the 9 o'clock shots and the 10 o'clock shots. And I mean like drink shots.
Yeah.
So it looks like a big party, but oh my God, they're in Kansas for the first episode, and it's like freezing in the morning. So I'm not sure what time of year it was, but it looked fucking cold. And everyone's up, trying to get their shit together, probably after drinking all night. It looks like it's a big party. Well, anyway, Michael Simon is so charismatic, and he makes the show work really well. I really enjoyed the first episode, so I'm looking forward to more of that. It comes out Mondays on Discovery Plus. So it probably means that it comes out Mondays on Food Channel. I'm not sure. It's either the night before or the day of, because some of them they day and date, and others the day later. But a good show. And then here's another one. It's called How to Change Your Mind, and this is on Netflix, and it's a documentary series, 4-part documentary series about psychedelic drugs, mushrooms, all that stuff, but they're dealing with it from like around the late 50s to the early 60s, when all those drugs were used to try to they were used as medication,
right?
Psychological stuff, and dealing with people with anxieties and microdosings. And then all of a sudden there's the war on drugs, because they wanted to basically get rid of all the drugs, because the hippies, Nixon hated the hippies. So he went after the psychedelics and marijuana. And of course, if you make marijuana a grade A drug, then you can arrest people of color who had it on their possession and throw them in jail for 10 years. So it was all just fucked up. But that's what this documentary is talking about. It's talking about why things happen, how things changed, and how they're changing now. So we watched the first 2 episodes, and they were very, very interesting. Yeah, and I feel different about these kind of drugs now, because I got to admit, since I was alive during that time period, I remember the propaganda against this.
Oh yeah, I
You know,
remember the movies with the woman, the girl, Helen Hunt, I guess it was, jumping out the window and shit. Remember that?
no,
She went crazy on LSD and jumped out this 2-story window or something like that, landed on the ground. And it was, that's all I remember of it. But I remember very specifically, it was like LSD. Your mind on LSD, what it does to your kids. Just say no.
yeah, yeah, there's an awful lot of that. And so anyway, it's interesting. It's Netflix for somebody who's interested in taking a look back at that time period. And like I said, it does show what's happening right now and the change in, like, I mean, the fact that Oregon has, basically made it legal to, have cocaine and LSD and mushrooms. It's all legalizing all the drugs, and people will do them or they won't do them. Did you know no one's ever died on LSD except for that woman who flung herself out that window? Because
I don't even think that she did. I think she just got up and ran away.
well, it's funny because they, whenever they show the people, because they have actual footage of people on LSD, and they're all like sitting still and like somewhat comatose in a sense. They're stuck in their little psychedelic world. They're not running around. That's more meth.
Yeah.
So anyway, interesting show. And then last night we watched a Nikki Glaser comedy special.
Oh,
And
okay.
this is on HBO. Now we went and saw Nikki Glaser at the beginning when she was hitting the smaller venues. We saw her up in Napa, which is actually a larger venue than she should have been playing in. But I'll tell you something. We got 20 minutes into it and we turned it off.
Oh.
And which was really sad because she is so good when she's not on stage. Like if she's on a podcast, she's hysterical.
Yeah.
But this, I think it goes back to the drag queens, and the and the hairdressers. She's naturally funny, but she's not a performer, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just because even when we saw her live, it was like we were very disappointed. It just went nowhere, and it took a long time to get there. And she like somebody was, kept talking to her from the audience, and the woman, she ridiculed the woman so badly that she finally snuck out. I mean, literally, grabbed her stuff and she slunked away. It was sad. It was very sad, but hilarious at the same time. And then, but yeah, so I would say, and even if you're a big fan, I think it's going to make you not a big fan anymore. So be careful. And then we did go out and see Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
And I only fell asleep once. And it's so funny because all of a sudden I woke up and Jane is now is now the mighty Thor. And I'm like, when did this happen? I'll just go with it. I'll go with it. And then the rest was fine. It was really funny. A lot of humor in it. I couldn't believe how sweaty Zeus was, played by Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
He just looked bad. He looked bad. I did like when he went down the stairs and he held up his skirt. I thought that was hilarious, but I wanted more of that. He should have played that up much more than he did. But yeah, I did enjoy the show. I think the director, and I can never pronounce his name, but it starts with a T and the second name is with a W. I'll just say that. He did the last Thor as well, and he's got a good hand for it.
Yep.
He's got a good hand with humor, and so yeah, he's a good writer. And he'll probably do the fourth one that comes out as well, and then that'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the show itself was okay. You know how the big reveal at the ending, you think that the bad guy's going to be doing something, a
Mhm.
certain something, and then it turns out to be something else.
Mhm.
I don't know, that almost kind of
Anticlimactic.
it just made it different,
Yeah.
and maybe not so much in a good way.
I understand. I understand that. Yeah.
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 But I love all the characters pretty
Hmm.
much, and I did stay for the end
Yes.
because
So excited.
you have to stay for the very end, for that to get the final one. So, because there's two reveals through the credits.
I
So
love that they do that.
yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much it.
Cool. Uh, I I thought it was a really great movie. But yeah, the end for me got a little muddled, shall we say? But yeah, I still think it was an epic ride. Just turn your brain off, and
Yeah.
go with the fun. And there were so many cameos, like you said, the Russell Crowe, and I agree with you. I think that he could have done more, or I think the director could have directed him to do more. Who knows how difficult he may or may not have been to work with, like Leah Michelle. Anyway, I have a little before I go into my week. I do have a little thing here from Nephi, who commented on a couple things. One was the Leah Michelle thing, which you already addressed.
Wait, are we live?
What?
Are we live?
No, no. This is his comment from last week,
Last week.
and
Okay. Okay.
he asked me to read it because he says I'm still a Bet fan. I just think that what she said wasn't really thought out. She's been an LGBT ally for 50 years, so I'm not going to turn against her now. Oh, excuse me. But her comments were sparked by Roe versus Wade, but she brought trans inclusive language into it, making it sound like by being trans inclusive, people were taking something away from her as a woman or all women, and excuse me, what they fought for. Wonder Woman had a good response for her. I still love that. And so I looked into it a little bit more, and after really kind of reading it and then watching a couple videos on actually trans men talking about it from their perspective and not in a hysterical, like fuck her kind of way. Um, I understand now why it came across that way. I don't know whether she really meant it that way. It's Bet, so hopefully she didn't. But I understand why using that language and stuff actually did make it come across that way. And there was one trans guy video that I watched where basically, did you know that even when you're on testosterone as a trans man, you can still get pregnant?
Yes.
And I actually did not know that. I thought that the hormones on top of the testosterone, like whatever hormones and stuff you were taking, I thought it actually stopped like your period and stuff, but apparently not. Apparently you can still get pregnant. I thought you had to go off hormones to get pregnant, but apparently it's you go off hormones when you're pregnant if you're going to carry that way. But anyway, so
Well,
with that,
there was a play called The Hearing that dealt with that, as a matter of fact, from a few years ago.
yeah. See, I blocked most of that time period out. Um, but anyway, so there was this one trans guy who was basically talking about how he's been, he can still get pregnant, and if he is, that apparently he had several times he had been raped, and two of the times he had gotten pregnant and had to have abortions, like next day pills or whatever it was. Um, but the point is that that is one of the reasons that the language is trying to be made to be inclusive of people who can get pregnant, because if they identify as males and they can still get pregnant, they still have to deal with that type of thing. So I get it now. That's all I can say, because I understand what they were talking about. All right. That aside, my week was weird. I'm still recovering from my inner ear thing. So I didn't I don't know, it was just a weird week. But anyway, I watched Lucifer, season 6, finished that out. It was I love the characters. I love a lot about the story. I think that somewhere in season 5 they jumped the shark, but I stuck with it, and then halfway through season 6 it actually pulled itself like out of whatever the fuck it was trying to do. We're trying to half the season to figure out where it was going, and then it actually got really good again. And they closed out the season strong and closed out the series, because the series is done, and the finale was good. It was really nice. So yay. Generation Drag. I have been forcing myself to watch episodes of Generation Drag. I say forcing because like I have this thing where like I don't want to watch it, and then when I turn it on though, I'm fine. But I know it's weird. It's like, okay, well, I'm watching it. Okay, that's interesting. It's all good. And then, but like trying to make myself watch it, I kind of don't want to. But yeah, I don't know. It's a very interesting series, and I'm glad it's there. And I'm glad that a lot of these kids are not having to go through the crap that we would have gone through trying to do the same thing, because that's just crazy. But it's a good show. It's a good show, and there are people that really need this show. It still just feels weird coming from my generation watching it, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Trixie Motel we talked about. I really enjoyed it after the first couple episodes. Orbital Horizons, great. We talked about Miss Marvel already. I finished it last night, and then so Disney now has this thing where you can like basically when you're streaming it on your computer, it's supposed to show in some like IMAX format or something. I don't understand that. Like IMAX is basically this huge screen. You're watching it on your computer. I don't get it. Anyway, but I wanted to see if I could see whatever difference it was. So I started Captain Marvel was right after that. So I just kind of went about 5 minutes in to see about what it might look like different. I didn't see a damn thing, but I ended up watching the whole film. So that was fun. It's a really good film. I forgot how good it was. And then also I was supposed to do the matinee Minutia with DJ and Tuppy. So I had to do the research, which means I had to watch the film Charade, with Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn and Walter Matthau, among others. And so it was really good. It was just a fun little movie. I mean, definitely a product of its time. Definitely had some scenes that you were like, oh, that would not fly today, girl. Mm-mm. But yeah, it was just a fun watch. And I really enjoy sometimes just going back and watching some of these older films that time seems to have started to forget, but they're still really entertaining, fun films. And I just think Cary Grant is a very, very handsome man. I do. Anyway.
So did his boyfriend.
Uh-huh. Exactly. I don't know. He sends me. If I were in that time period, I would have been so into him. Hopefully, literally. Anyway, moving on. we want to remind you to be loud, be proud, be too much. Please be you. Those of us who are told that we are too much of something, we want to turn those negatives into positives. Chubs Gone Wild listeners, you can do that by using the code FMWildChub to get 20% off anything while ordering over at fatmarkerclothing.com. All right, well, it's time for advice. And I think we're going to pick a shorter one. There we go. All right. I am a married man in my 30s, and I have known for some time now that I'm quite well endowed. Though my past girlfriends and my wife have been enthusiastic about it, my problem is that how my wife treats this personal information. She discusses my size quite openly with her friends, which I understand is part of her girl talk. However, I recently found out that she told a female acquaintance whom she'd met for the first time. I am a fairly introverted person, and knowing that our friends have this information affects my social interaction with them. I've brought this issue up with her and asked her to tone it down. But her argument is that she is sharing something positive about me, and therefore it causes no harm. My wife and I have an otherwise stable and loving marriage, and I do not want this issue to be a bone of contention. How can I get my wife to stop broadcasting this, or should I just accept it?
This is bullshit.
Girl,
No man has a problem with having everyone know that he's hung like a horse.
Yeah.
If he does, he's lying.
This is just horrible. Everybody knows I have a big wiener.
And
Whatever.
yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, the only thing I would be worried about is that depending on how shady her friends are, that they might try to get a look at it or get a taste of it.
Yeah,
that would be my only worry. But I've known enough gay men who broadcast that they have big dicks, like they might as well actually half of them had shirts that say I got a big dick, so
yeah. I'm sorry, but half the people on that we know that have big ones have alt accounts on Twitter that you'll find eventually. So just saying, yeah, most men don't have a big problem. Oh, excuse me, don't have a problem with having it big.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they take extra long in the shower at the gym.
They're letting everybody see the goods.
Are air drying, their balls at the look at this. No, or wearing tight pants. I'm sure that John Hamm has no problem with having his wiener exposed, unless of course he wears boxer shorts and flings it down one leg, and then it's like, oh, I didn't know it was going to do that. Bullshit.
Yeah, doing the helicopter in the gym bathroom, it doesn't exactly make you all innocent and shit. So
right.
And I have enough friends with big ones to know. And I have enough friends, we have enough friends who have boyfriends or husbands who do have them. They all talk. They're all happy to let you know.
Oh, yeah.
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 And
they like the broadcast it all you want. It's fine. It's like, hey, they're the first guys that go to the pool party and go nude.
Yep.
Yeah. Here, is the hot tub open? Do we have to wear clothes? Yeah. It's just it's bullshit. And oh yeah, no man wants to be known as the guy with the big dick. No, yeah. Well, except for me when I was going to school back, all those years ago, and you could see my dick through my pants, and then I felt really self-conscious. But then it was the 70s, so.
Oh, it's one of the reasons I love the 70s. The most innocent of shows and movies back then, and you're still looking at them going, did they see that you can see the outline? Just this was acceptable in family days. Anyway, let's see what Dear Birdie had to say. Bone of contention indeed. At least this isn't a version of the disappointing HBO series Hung, and she has offered to become your pimp. I agree that your wife's babbling to every woman of her acquaintance that you're packing is a violation of the sanctity of your marriage, even if it doesn't rise to the level of making you want to pack your bags. She should realize it's actually contrary to her self-interest to advertise your assets so wildly, since she's going to tantalize some women to want to join this members-only club. Oh, it's so stupid. I mean, not what she's saying, just the topic. Anyway, it's also awfully rigid of her to dismiss your complaint that no one looks you in the face because everyone has their eyes on the prize. Since her boasting is not petering out, perhaps she will better understand your beef if you offer her an analogy. Ask her to imagine how she would feel if you started telling all the males that you know her nipples are irresistibly pert and perky. If she says that's nuts and not on the same level at all, try to educate. Oh, there you go. Ask her to elocutate. I don't know. Why not? Since you two want to reveal something complimentary about her private parts, tell her you wouldn't actually do this because such intimate facts belong to the married couple, not the world. And add that since she so values your endowment, if she wants it to grow, not shrink, she needs to protect it better. Funny, I like the innuendos.
Uh,
It was fun.
yeah,
A stupid but fun.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's done. It's the whole thing is done.
Hey,
Now,
Chubs, name 3 items sitting to your right.
my breathing machine, my weed, and my Diet Coke.
Oh, that sounds good. Let's see. Microphones, Planters peanuts, and fake candles. Not that interesting. Oh, and my big old inspiration board. That's lovely. I like that. Hey, Chubs, how many aunts and uncles do you have, dead and alive?
No idea.
No idea. Not many.
No, it's just I don't know right off the top of my head. I know my mom was she was the youngest of 11, I think, and my dad had no siblings. He had siblings, but they were step, and one was adopted, I think. So I don't know what that's 12.
Yeah.
And oh wait, do we count their spouses?
Oh no. Well,
I don't know.
I wouldn't go that far.
But no, I have none living. I have no living aunts or uncles.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's see. For me, let's see, there were 4 on my dad's, 2 halves that I knew on my mom's. I just found out there were 4 more. So what's that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that it? That I know about.
Okay.
So 10. If my father wasn't really his father's, who knows at that point. All right. And today, what is this? Close this out. Tom, take a guess. The Center for wait. Okay, how many STD infections are there every year?
Um, 15 million.
Oh, you know what? You're not far off. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimate that there are approximately 20 million new STD infections each year. Almost half of them are among young people ages 15 to 24. The cost of STDs to the U.S. health care system is estimated to be at $16 billion annually. There you go.
Yeah, and hopefully they report them. That's the thing.
Hmm.
And
Well, yeah, these are just the reported ones. So,
well, but I mean, if it's depending on the STD, but
hmm,
people who get like warts and those kind of they don't report.
yeah, probably
Uh, Hopefully the people who get the chlamydia and the different venereal diseases that will drive you insane ultimately,
not.
hopefully they report those.
Yeah, but those with warts, they don't report, they reward.
To
No,
the next person. Yes.
right, exactly.
Right. There
All
we
right,
go.
hey, what's in your lunchbox? Well, Mr. Moose wrote in, and really, there's only 2 pictures in there. Let me drop the 3rd picture so that you can see
So
the.
did he get a double thing of macaroni and cheese?
Apparently, we'll see. There is the 3rd picture so that you can see it. All right. He had asked for a custom dish today: sliced chicken, mushrooms, and cabbage in Kung Pao sauce. Wow. I like the chicken and mushrooms, but I wouldn't ask for the cabbage myself.
Oh no, the cabbage is minor. It's overcooked,
Okay.
so it's almost like a noodle kind of feel to it.
Oh, well, okay then. I like that. Okay, stopped in to a diner for some lunch of fish and mac and cheese. Was good.
The fish, I know I want to go over to get fish and chips now, just because that's how ours looks. Our
Yeah.
place looks over here, and they make dynamite fish and chips. Well, they make dynamite fish. Their chips suck, but their fish is definitely good.
I've been
And
craving.
where did he now? Is he a tartar sauce fan, or is he a cocktail sauce fan, or does he not have anything?
I don't know, but maybe he'll write in and tell us because there's
Okay,
coleslaw, but
yeah, but that's not, you don't dip fish into
yeah.
coleslaw.
And I want to know if that macaroni and cheese is any good because I
Well,
said before,
he got 2 dishes, so
yeah, mac and cheese is, well, it could have been whoever he was with put it on his plate and said, "Here, eat this slop."
I know. But look at the back plate of the macaroni.
Has a little burn.
Well, it's the crunchy
Uh-huh.
edges. Oh yeah, that looks good.
Now, see, that's the thing is the crunchy edges with the breading and stuff. I can do, but most of it's just mush. All right, and then finally, Chinese food again. This is a sautéed eggplant with minced pork and chicken in a very hot brown sauce. Really good. Hope my mouth cools off sometime this week.
I only have one picture. I mean, 2 pictures.
Well, refresh, and the 3rd one's there, as I said.
Oh God.
It's beautiful. You'll love it. You'll love it deep inside, burning in your mouth and stuff.
Oh, okay. That's the one. The first one. That's the one I was missing was the one with the cabbage.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and this is so that's eggplant. Hmm.
Oh,
Okay,
I had some eggplant not too long ago.
that's good. I like eggplant.
Yeah, part of it was cooked really well and it was good, and then part of it was underdone and was not.
My mom used to just do rounds of it, cut it, into
Mhm.
medallions, let's call them.
Mm,
And so she would egg and flour them and fry them,
mm.
and we would eat them like that. And I no, sauce over them or anything like that.
Yeah,
Just eat them like, just like a, yeah, just like a, how are you eat like that? What is that? No, no, no.
breaded
Yeah,
zucchini. Yeah,
yeah.
pick it up with your hands. Awesome. Hey, send us an email at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Moose sends us emails. The rest of you, apparently you don't love us anymore. All right. Also, leave us a comment at chubsgonewild.com. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/chubsgonewild. And don't forget to watch our videos over at YouTube. Just go over and search for Chubs Gone Wild. Please consider becoming a patron of the show at patreon.com/MattBurlingame. And find Tom's movie and TV reviews over at swannerandjudd.com for the hold on. Excuse me. Find their podcast in iTunes or in iHeartRadio. Find out more about my books over at justkisstheguy.com and check out my other podcast at bigksexshow.com. Strapped. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs.
Yes, Queen.
Oh, now I did want to mention, if you're a fan of RuPaul, they are selling the Legendary Legend Stars. And I don't have the thing for it, but you can go to either Sater or Captain Scott on Facebook, and he has already purchased his, and he has the link to purchase your own if you want to. So I hate back, being, going his back to do that, but he's the only person I know that does it, and thank God he's the guy that does it. Keeps us informed.
Right. Yeah, he likes people on his back. Oh wait, no, that's somebody else. Anyway, but yeah, I had seen that, but I wasn't sure what it was. So thank you for clarifying that. All right. Well, I think that's it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us and having fun and frivolity. And don't forget to check out the video in case there's some sexy things that you haven't seen yet. And don't forget to go over the Facebook group to see all those great photos by Mr. Moose.
Yum.
We will catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.